of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Rays TV presented by Union Home Mortgage. We welcome you to downtown Baltimore, Maryland, known as Charm City. It's the Rays and the Orioles, Game 2. Somehow they'll try to follow up yesterday's crazy one. It's Game 2 of the series as we welcome you inside Oriole Park at Camden Yards. I'm Andy Freed filling in for Dwayne Stats alongside BA. If you missed yesterday, it was as topsy-turvy a game as you could possibly see. The Rays now back-to-back walk-off losses. Today, though, BA, as it's always about the pitching, Griffin Jax, Shane Baz, who just faced each other at Tropicana Field. So kind of like yesterday when it was McClanahan against Bradish. We'll see if anything changes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, both of them threw the ball very well. It's interesting, both of them have very good fastballs, but it was a couple of the secondary offerings that took center stage. For Griffin Jax through his 5 innings, he was awesome with his changeup. Down and away, the left-handed hitter, a lot of swing and miss, gave up just a 1 run, struck out 6, used his pitches to both sides of the plate to set up that changeup, and he did it on a very economical 62 pitches. On the other side, Shane Baz, of course, he's got the big fastball, but it was the curveball for him against the Rays, eliciting all those swings and misses. 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, gave up just a run, arguably his best start of the season. But I am as interested as you are. Will anything change here tonight? We'll find out.
He's been beat up inside his new home at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, so we'll see if the Rays can get a lead. Heck, the Rays scored 7 runs yesterday and still lost 9-7. Griffin Jax goes today for the Rays, his 1.42 ERA as a starter, and it's Rays and Orioles round 2 coming up from Baltimore. First pitch in a moment. Griffin Jax has made a smooth transition into the starting rotation for the Rays, giving up just 3 earned runs over his last 5 starts. Today, Jax leads the Rays back into Charm City, where they square off against old friend Shane Baz and the Baltimore Orioles. Rays TV is presented by Union Home Mortgage. Baseball tonight from downtown Baltimore, Maryland. It's the Rays and the Orioles in Game 2. Kevin Cash and company trying to shake off one of the toughest losses of the year yesterday, but so much going on in Rays land, and for more on that, here's Ryan Bass.
Yeah, Andy, big news of the day. The Rays have signed Craig Kimbrell, bringing his all-star resume here to Tampa Bay. Owner of 440 career saves, he now adds to this bullpen, giving them some much-needed juice there as well. This is 7 years after he almost joined the organization before choosing a long-term deal with the Cubs back in 2019. Kimbrell said, "I couldn't be happier to be here." He pointed to the Rays' pitching analytics and ability to create swing and miss stuff as a major draw. Kevin Cash said, "Adding a veteran with this kind of resume and experience will only add to our group." And maybe the best part is you take a look at his career at 37-year-old. Kimbrell says what still drives him is walking into new clubhouses and seeing young players excited to share the field with him. Carson Williams teased him today that he's been watching him since he came out of the womb. "I've gotten a lot of that," Kimbrell joked. 17 years and still going strong, Andy. What a big addition to the Rays bullpen.
You got that right, Ryan. Number 5 on the all-time saves list. Asking Kevin Cash and what role he'll be. Is it closer? He goes just in the mix. And that really holds true for pretty much everyone in that bullpen, regardless if you're top 5 saves all time or not. If you're with the Rays in the bullpen, you're in the mix.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were talking about yesterday. It's not so much anymore what inning you're going to pitch. It's what part of the lineup are you going to pitch against. So whatever matchups favor Craig Kimbrell, that's going to be the part of the game that could be the 6th. It might be the 9th. You never know. But it's about where the matchups are, and that's the game that Kevin Cash will play when the starter comes out.
Cheers to you, Yandy. He and Victor Besa toasting with bananas before the game today. Hey, whatever works. A little last boost of energy as the Rays try to snap a little 2-game losing skid. Now both on walk-offs, so that hasn't been the best thing in the world, but okay, they'll come. That Rays haven't lost a series in over a month, so we'll see what they can do today. Why don't we take a look now at the starting lineup? So the lineups are brought to you by Orlando Health. Now the Rays with Chandler Simpson will lead it off. Junior Caminero 2. And Jonathan Aranda, 2 RBIs, including a homer yesterday. Yandy Diaz now hitting .314. That leads the American League. He's the DH. Palacios, a big hit in the 8th yesterday. Mullins, a good return, gave the Rays the lead in the 12th yesterday, or 13th as it was yesterday. He's back, and then Victor Mesa Jr. with his first Rays homer. Hunter Fiducia homered off Boz last time, and Oliver Dunn, though, a late addition. Taylor Wall's a late scratch.
Yeah, Hunter Fiducia, that home run off Shane Boz, and then later in the game drops down the bunt to get that 8th inning going for the Rays and that comeback win. Shane Boz obviously taking the mound here once again for the Baltimore Orioles. His back-to-back start against the Rays, and you see 10 starts on the season, a 1-5 record, an ERA of 4.87, just far too many base runners, too many walks. That leads to that higher whip, which then of course will then translate into a higher ERA. However, his last start against the Rays was probably his best start of the season. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, and at one point, the last 4 innings of his outing, he faced the minimum. He gave up a base hit, turned that immediately into a ground ball double play, and then retired the next 10 in a row. So he finished that outing very, very strong. This is the mix that he did it with. The curveball was the big pitch against the Rays in his last start. A lot of left-handed hitters in the lineup, and he was able to get that curveball vertical, get a lot of swings and misses with it to go and complement all the other pitches. Of course, the good fastball that's going to sit at 96, 97 miles per hour. Let's take a look at that Oriole defense. And in the outfield left to right, we've got Taylor Ward, Leody Tavares, and Colton Cowser. Infield third to first, Blaze Alexander, Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holliday, and Pete Alonso, with Samuel Basayo back behind the plate.
Well, Colton Cowser, who didn't have a home run in his first 37 games this year, now has walk-off homers in back-to-back days, as he did it in the day game of Sunday's doubleheader here against Detroit, and then against the Rays yesterday, and they'll tied for the Major League lead in walk-off homers this year. Okay, game 2 underway with Chandler Simpson and a strike to get us started.
You're the last Oriole to do that? Walk-off home runs in back-to-back days?
I think I know.
I think you probably do know.
I think I was there.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Well, then please tell.
Are we talking about the great Freddie Lynn?
We are.
I was at the Friday night game where he walked off the Twins. The next day was my birthday, and he did it again against the Twins. Left-hander Kurt Wardle, he took him out of the ballpark. He had gotten Ron Davis in game 1.
And I had no idea that this was coming. Yeah. I was just going to test your Baltimore knowledge, and here you were there. That's awesome.
That was my childhood. That was it.
That's why I knew you'd get it. I just didn't know you were present.
Wasn't that crazy? Might have been the only walk-off I ever went to as a kid. And then it happens yesterday, and the Rays got to shake that off. Line towards Cowser. And should be extra bases. There's a head-first dive and a double for Chandler Simpson.
And you know what? That might be the only guy, one of very few, that turns that hit into a double. Because that ball was well struck. It was well played by Cowser out there in right field off the wall. He got the throw in quickly, but you just have too much speed coming out of that batter's box. You can't play that any better. A strong throw didn't matter. There's a lot of guys, I'm telling you right now, that would still be hung up at first base right now. Not Chandler.
Remember yesterday, Palacios did it, and Cowser really plays the wall well out there in right. Now Junior Caminero, a bullet to short, but Henderson throws him out. Junior doing everything he can to get that ball in the air, but sometimes he gets in these little ruts where everything's on the ground.
Well, and guess what? It's really interesting that you say that, because what did Boz go to right there? He went to the fastball, but it was the 2-seam fastball. That's a new offering for him. He did not throw that with the Rays a season ago.
Certainly worked. Holding Simpson at second for now. Now the league's RBI leader, and Jonathan Aranda. Can I give you one other thing about, I can't resist. Fred Lynn had the walk-off homer that Friday night, 9th inning homer. Next night, 9th inning walk-off home run. Next day, went to the game again, another 9th inning homer, but they lost the game. 3 straight games, 9th inning home runs.
By Fred Lynn.
By Fred Lynn. And this should give the Rays the lead. Simpson around third, and Aranda has his 41st batted in, and the Rays jump out on top today.
I tell you, it's the knack that Aranda has with runners in scoring position. We're going to have to look up his average. The last time I checked it, it was hovering around 370. But he has been just so clutch. He gets a four-seam fastball there, and watch how quick. Just a quick, short swing to the baseball. And as soon as that ball touched grass, you knew that Chandler Simpson was going to be able to make it home and give the Rays an early lead.
That's what they needed. You know, when you have a loss like yesterday, it tends to wipe away all the things that actually did go right. I mean, the Rays had scored 7 runs yesterday on a day where Bradish had been very good. They had timely hits and home runs, but at some point you got to stop the other team, and the O's did their thing. In fact, I saw a note about yesterday's game. Oh, Yandy Diaz to the right side. Aranda is going to try for third. Cowser can't get it there in time. In fact, it hit Aranda, and it's runners to the corners.
Watch Yandy Diaz change his swing. Yandy knows the runner over there at first base being held on and the second baseman playing way up the middle. He's got a whole right side to deal with. He gets a breaking ball, and he just sits back and just slaps it the other way. Watch how he changes his swing. Doesn't try to drive it. He just allows that pitch to work its way to the outer part of the plate and then just gets it rolling to right field because there is nobody there to field it. That's just knowing where the defense is playing you, getting a pitch on the outer half of the plate and taking full advantage. Something that he can do because he can manipulate his swing, and his swing mechanics are so just so fundamentally sound.
Look at that opposite field hit to number 1.
That's how you hit. You know, that's how you lead the league in hitting.
Back to Boz. They get 1 and 2. Credit to Shane Boz fielding his position there on the mound. Turns in a 1-6-3 double play. The Rays have to be satisfied with 1 as Griffin Jacks will take to the mound.
Pizza Hut.
Well, tonight's lineup's brought to you by Orlando Health. For Baltimore, Taylor Ward, Gunnar Henderson, and Pete Alonso will get it going. Then Sam Basayo, Leody Taveras, and Jeremiah Jackson. Colton Cowser, Blaze Alexander, Jackson Holiday for the O's against the Air Force captain himself, Griffin Jacks.
Well, let's take a look at our Toyota trend, and Griffin Jacks making a seamless transition into that starting rotation. He's now had 5 starts. Look at the ERA, 1.42, the whip at 1.11, and by the way, has completed 5 innings in each of his last 2 starts and done it very economically. Those 10 innings, he's given up 1 earned run. That's a .9 ERA. And just 12.8 pitches per inning, which, I mean, 15's the gold standard. Now, can you keep it that low? Probably not, but that's how efficient he's been his last 2.
I got to think, if you're Griffin Jacks, going from highest leverage reliever to a starter, not every pitch might determine your outing. Right?
Yeah, right.
You make a bad pitch, all right, you got more coming. As a closer or late inning reliever, 1 bad pitch might ruin the whole day.
Could be, yeah, that could be the end. And not only that, but you have pitches that you probably never even get to in a 1 inning, stint, because he's got a pretty vast arsenal and using it right there to take down Taylor Ward. Quickly set that Rays defense for you. At some point, they're going to have to make a play, Andy. In the outfield, left to right, it looks like this. Chandler Simpson, Cedric Mullins, and Victor Mesa Jr. That infield third to first, Junior Caminero. Oliver Dunn getting the call at shortstop. Richie Palacios, Jonathan Aranda with Hunter Fiducia back behind the plate.
Here's Oliver Dunn making his first start as a Ray. Got to think that Kevin Cash anxious to get him in his first career start at shortstop.
No pressure.
Just
no pressure.
Go get him. Kind of interesting. Not Carson Williams today. We'll let Williams come off the bench if needed, and it's Oliver Dunn getting the chance with the late scratch with a sore hamstring for Taylor Walls.
Griffin Jacks telling Hunter Fiducia, get rid of that baseball, has no sweep in it. Give me one that has some sweep.
There's Carson, second from the left, talking to Ozzie Timmons. That is a fair ball. Fiducia with a throw. 2 down.
Nice job by Hunter Fiducia to be able to get that ball quick enough, because now all of a sudden, being a right-handed thrower, you're throwing right up the line, right into the back of Gunnar Henderson. But because he got to that ball quickly, watch how he's able to step inside the baseline. He gets to it quickly, and now look, he can clear himself a little bit of room and then find that throwing lane to Aranda.
I always think catchers receive strikes, but sometimes they got to throw strikes. And you're right, there's just that little lane. And he made it. So 2 quick outs. And now Pete Alonso. The numbers on one of the best RBI men in the game the last half decade or so. Look at that, RBI per game.
Runners in scoring position, 5 out of 11.
Well, he kept getting singles yesterday. I saw the note that the Orioles, it was the first time in their franchise history that they trailed in extra innings 3 different times and won the game. They've been here since 1954. That had never happened before. And Alonso, it's not like he was hitting them out of the park, but he kept getting these singles. They only had 2 extra base hits the whole game, did the Orioles. High hardwood at 97, and that's a bit of a statement first inning, or so it would appear, for Griffin Jacks. Rays with the early 1-0 lead in Baltimore.
Appliances at the Home Depot.
Hey, there he is. 37-year-old Craig Kimbrell signed today to a major league deal. So he's here with the club. Talking to Casey Legamina, 2 of the newer Rays additions to the bullpen. So Kimbrell is active and ready to go if needed tonight, and kind of look forward to seeing him next time he takes to the hill.
You know, you're right, and interesting to see what the Rays will do with him. I mean, at first you're just going to let him go out and do his thing, and maybe they have some ideas for for down the road, but certainly you could use some help coming out of that bullpen, and they were hoping that he provides that. No reason to think that he won't.
The counter move is Jesse Schultz has a right wrist injury and placed on the injured list officially. And there's Kimbrell getting to know everybody, his new mates. Mullins gets under it. Blaze Alexander, the third baseman, caught it waist high.
Interesting little route right there. Makes you wonder what kind of wind is up there, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like a pretty quiet night. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the most important thing, Andy. You got to get the handshake down.
Who's teaching who? Is Charlie teaching Kimbrell, or is Kimbrell teaching Charlie?
I think. Well, whose handshake was that?
I don't know.
That's who. That's where it lies. Is whoever's handshake that was. That looked like it might have been Kimbrell teaching Charlie.
Yeah.
But who knows? Everybody's got their own little thing.
As many years as I hated seeing Craig Kimbrell come into the game, it's kind of reassuring to see him in a Rays uniform. Over his years with Boston, man, he didn't allow anything to the Rays over about a 3 or 4 year period.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your name is, but let's get our little thing going.
We need to work on something. Little flare base hit for Victor Mesa Jr. Big turnaround first.
Well, the big home run in yesterday's ball game. Unfortunately, the Rays were not able to hold that up, but there's the breaking ball right there, and that's where Shane Baz had a lot of success against the Rays lineup his last time out. With that curveball, that one stayed up. Mesa was able to poke it out into left center field, and you got a guy over there now that can run well, maybe swipe you a bag. Baz has given up 3 stolen bases in 3 attempts. Not bad for a right-handed starter.
Popped up by Fiducia. Looks like it's the shortstop Henderson for the second out.
Well, this is what we were talking about. That curveball was so big for him. How about that? Rays went 0 for 9 with 6 punch-outs. All of his strikeouts. I think that's how many he had. Yeah, 6 strikeouts. Did walk 3, pitched around that. But that curveball was really, really good.
What makes his curveball good?
Well, the fact that he's got a good fastball, okay, and so he can elevate that fastball 96, 97, and then the curveball he spins tight. It's a knuckle curve, so he spins it over the one finger, and he can really spin it tight. And so when you get an up-down curveball with the fastball to pair them with, it's tough to tell out of the hand which one it is. And so the break was late. You know, I was talking to Jim Palmer before the game, and he was telling me that the curveball his last start against the Rays was the most vertical that it has been all season long. The closest to 12-6 that they've seen it. And it was obviously that effective. And a lot of that probably because of the left-handed hitters. He was doing a really good job of staying on top of that pitch and ripping it straight down. Jim Palmer right there. How about that? 1990 Hall of Fame, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, and remembers every pitch that he ever threw.
And every pitch that everyone else ever threw.
Yeah, his recall is absolutely incredible. It's so great when he comes in to the booth before a game and starts sharing stories, and we get bantering back and forth. He's the greatest.
I'm a fly on the wall. I like listening to you guys just talk pitching. If I got something to say, I might interject a little bit, but I'm mostly all ears.
So am I. I don't get too much in there either.
That's right. That's a called strike 3, and Oliver Dunn to retire the side. That's the first strikeout for Shane Baz today.
What's in your mind?
Back here at Camden Yards, Cedric Mullins returned yesterday as a visitor for the first time here in Baltimore after 7.5 seasons in an Orioles uniform. And I'll tell you what, he was emotional watching that video tribute yesterday and the ovation that Orioles fans gave him when he stepped up to the plate yesterday in his first at bat, calling it awesome. He said he couldn't thank the staff and organization enough for everything they did for him and his family. You see the career here with the Baltimore Orioles, 30-30. That was one of his favorite memories, he said, hitting that 30th home run here in this ballpark. He told me the connection with the city came from the way he played the game every single day, saying fans appreciated the hustle and the effort, whether he played good or not. And now Kevin Cash says even Mullins working through that slow start offensively, his impact in the Rays clubhouse has never changed. He's a steady presence, very balanced with his perspective, and continues to help this team win in a lot of different ways. I'll tell you, his defense out there in center field, it has been exceptional in the NBA.
It absolutely has, Ryan. And look, we saw it for all those years when he was in the Oriole uniform. He can go get it in center. Oh, Jax, for whatever reason, just couldn't pick it up. E1, I would think.
Yeah, and that's one of those unfortunate things because there's no reason to rush anything. Basayo does not run well. You had plenty of time. The swinging little bunt right here gets to it in plenty of time. And right there, he was actually going to start to shuffle that ball towards first base before he secured it. And it came flipping right out of that glove. Boy, that you see him too, to kind of stop and pause like, what did I just do? But you got to regroup now and start making pitches.
And look at this. This is going to go for a hit. And Griffin Jax got nailed by that baseball. It already qualifies as a weird inning. Let's hope the Jax can recover from this. I wonder if it took his breath away too. It is Joe Bench, if you don't know, the head athletic trainer for the Rays. Where Joe Bench's lip saying, "Take deep breaths." All right, it'll take a pitch or two.
He's going to say it may take a pitch or two to loosen that back up. I mean, that ball smoked him. And I think you're right, kind of knocked the breath out of you.
And I know you got a lot of adrenaline going out there. It looks like he's going to stay in, but that's
one pitch. You know, here's the interesting thing too about this play. Let's see where it got him. That pitch leaked back to the middle of the plate, right in the middle of the back. And watch Junior. Junior tries to make a play on this and tries to catch it before it gets to the turf, maybe try to turn it into a double play. Ends up a little bit short and then pushes the ball away from him, and that allows all the runners to reach safely.
all right. Well, Jax will have to go to work on Jeremiah Jackson with 2 on, nobody out. The bunt in the air, out of play.
Baltimore taking a page out of the Rays offensive playbook right there.
Honestly.
Early bunts, and why not? You know, the runs have been hard to come by. You think about yesterday, at least until you got to extra innings, but up until that point, you had to scratch and claw for everything that you were going to try and get. So Baltimore thinking about playing some small ball here early. You know, sometimes you used to have those bunt plays, especially for later in the game, where if you knew they were going to bunt, you'd run the wheel play and try to get that lead runner at third base. Now they concede that. Even if they know you're going to bunt, they're going to let you bunt, try to take the out at first. And I'll tell you, Junior was playing deep and had to come charging in right there, because if Jackson were to lay down an 8+ bunt to the third base side, he may not be able to make a play.
See Junior about even with the bag.
A little bit more shallow now. He was deeper the previous pitch. Now he starts to come.
Fouled on the bunt attempt, 2-2. If you saw a guy squaring early, though, wouldn't you want the pitch to be up so it's harder for him to get on top of it?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you had a guy that, absolutely, you would do that. Now, a lot of the guys that would bunt back then, the better bunters, you know, they would angle that bat. They'd be able to get up on top of it. But yeah, if you got a guy up there that wasn't accustomed to bunting and you could run him fastball up, you may get a quick, easy little pop up.
Bunt play off now with 2 strikes on Jeremiah Jackson. That's a base hit past the diving Dunn, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Here we go.
So E1 to line drive off the pitcher, to a bunt attempt that couldn't work, to a clean single to left, and the Orioles in business for the walk-off hero yesterday, Cowser.
Well, he's able to get up on top of that pitch that's moving in on him, and Jackson able to rope that ball right by Dunn. Nothing Dunn could do. That ball was smoked, but it got out to Chandler Simpson so quickly, nothing that Basayo could do besides go 90 feet to third base. But now you got some real trouble, and not this guy.
So the guy that sent us all home yesterday.
Boy, he's got that changeup. It was so good in that last start against the Orioles, but boy, does he throw a hard changeup. There is not a lot of differential between the changeup and the fastball, maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour.
But you love to talk about how it's great when there's such a large differential, but what about his? He got a lot of swing and miss on it last time.
He did, but if you go look at the heat map on where he put those changeups, he put them in impossible spots. That's the type of pitch, though, that if you miss out over the plate, and there was one where he pulled off of it, you leave yourself, not that it can't be effective, and it was very effective his last start, but your margin for error goes down because it's so close to your fastball. You know, when you're talking about a changeup that's 4 or 5 miles per hour, that's like a BP fastball. It's not really even a changeup. But he was great with it. But again, he was putting them in great spots. He was locating that pitch very well. And what's interesting about that is in the middle of that lineup his last time out, 5 of the 6 hitters were left-handed. So that let him get into a good rhythm with that pitch. Tonight's lineup, Craig Albert has put out there a lot of right, left, right, left, right, left, trying to stay away from that.
Tried that changeup again this time. Cowser just nicked it. He got him with the changeup.
He did, and look where he put it. What a great spot. He gets good fading action on that pitch. So he starts it in the middle of the plate, and that's what caused, Colton Cowser to start to open up, thinking he's going to get something in the middle of the plate. Our Advent Health strike zone, look where it ends up, though. It ends up right on the edge down around the kneecaps. Look at that thing take off to the arm side, and you end up having, a bat that's not long enough to reach it.
Now Blaze Alexander. Big day yesterday for the Oriole third baseman. Close.
Real close. Those are the ones that you wait and you're like, will they? Won't they? You going to challenge it? No.
Too low.
Well, this is certainly a high enough leverage situation that if you were going to challenge one, but right now you need to make a pitch. You're in a tough count, a hitter's count right here at 2-1. Alexander, he wants to swing. These are where hitters really get aggressive with runners in scoring position and a 2-1 count.
Back through the middle, hits the base, and safe everywhere. What a bizarre inning. It's 1-1.
It's like the ball, they dipped it in butter. I mean, just slipping and sliding all over the place. Did that ball hit the top of the bag?
I thought it did.
I think it hit the top of second base, which didn't help matters. It was close, but it got into the midsection of Richie Palacios. Still got a chance to make the play. Yeah, that ball came up, hit him right in the stomach, but then he couldn't grab it, could not reach down there and secure that baseball. And he knows the clock is ticking. He knows that base runner's coming in, and Jax is like, all he had to do was pick it up and just could not find it.
Second error of the inning by the Rays. Fielder's choice, RBI to Blaze Alexander.
And that's on top of 4 errors in yesterday's ball game. That was something that plagued this team early in the year. Then they really started to right the ship defensively, but rearing its ugly head once again the last couple of days.
4 errors yesterday, plus some issues on cutoffs and extra innings. It was not a clean game.
No, it was not. And yeah, there were a number of different issues. Pitchers backing up, home plate, third base. There are a couple of miscues.
Now the base hit will give Baltimore the lead. Tavares scores. They're still loaded. 2-1 Baltimore.
Just enough to get it the other way and outside the reach. That's the changeup, and Holiday stays back long enough, right off the end of the bat and right out of the grasp of Junior Caminero.
Orioles have hit 1 ball mildly hard this inning. Well, and plus the comebacker to Jax. Everything else has been to the perfect spot, or hitting a base, or a play not made. Think how close he was to being out of this inning.
Yeah, challenge that, and that's worth the challenge. That looked like a breaking ball that was there in the zone. It's all over the plate. Is it going to be high enough?
Yep.
It's a strike. The Rays have 2 remaining.
Ryan Wills, the home plate umpire. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Oh yeah. Deep enough to score the 3rd run. Mullins with the catch, and Jackson scores. 3-1 Orioles. So Taylor Ward with his 16th run batted in. Rays trail by 2. Well, a lot of pitches thrown this inning alone. There's Garrett Clevenger getting warmed up early. Clevenger warmed up a couple of times yesterday, never got in. Bullpen, of course, heavily used by both teams yesterday in a 13-inning game. Plus, Baltimore the day before had 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, they played basically 3 games in a full day.
Right to Mullins in center. And after bases loaded, nobody out, 3 come in to score. And the Orioles leave runners at the corners. So if Jax is okay, through 2, Orioles have a lead. Between innings, if body language and facial expression mean anything, BA, looks like Jax might be done for the day.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he wants to come out of this game either.
All right, Rays down 2. They get the top of the order back up. Chandler scored the lone Rays run. Top of the zone with that knuckle curveball.
The last place that you're expecting it, and so you understand why a hitter gives up on it. For it to break down to the top of the zone means he's starting it well above the zone, and so you quit on it, all of a sudden it catches that top part.
You got a whole lot of swing and miss from Chandler Simpson.
No, and you don't get a lot of swing and miss on his changeup, not like you did a season ago. And he pulled, look at, you see where Basayo is. They want that pitch down and away. He pulled it down and in and still was able to get Chandler to kind of fly open a little bit too soon. Probably because Chandler thought it was going to be a fastball in, and at 97, you better get it started early.
Boy, is that a rip to left.
I mean,
that's a screamer of a single for Junior Caminero. Second hit of the series.
that ball was absolutely blistered. Boy, just a flat pitch out over the heart of the plate, and that's where Shane Baz is, maybe thanking his lucky stars that it was just a single, because that could have very easily been pounded out of here, the way that ball stayed up and in the middle of the plate.
So the Rays get the tying run to the plate right away with their RBI leader.
We were talking about that knuckle curveball and why it was so effective that last start against all these left-handed hitters. You just do a better job of staying on top of it because you want the vertical movement. You don't want that pitch sweeping down and in to the left-handed hitter.
Off the mitt of Holiday, and Caminero can keep running to third base. Boy, did you say something about the baseballs being dipped in butter tonight?
I'm telling you, right? I mean, I don't know if that ball had some action on it or not, but that was basically head high, and you thought that Holiday was going to be able to make a play on that. It was hit right at him, and it didn't even need to jump, and maybe that threw him off a little bit. You start to jump, now your head's moving a little bit, and it didn't need to, and that ball just ate him up.
Now Yandy Diaz with the tying runs on.
What's happening here tonight?
This is a weird game.
It really is. The team that settles it down is going to be the team that wins it.
So even for the Rays to get one run back here would mean something.
Well, you got the right guy at the plate. Understands situational hitting, does a good job of putting the ball in play. Of course, now he finds himself in a position where Baz can go for the strikeout, up 0-2 in the count. And that's exactly what he needs. You go through that Rolodex of what are my best swing and miss pitches.
Not that one.
I was going to say I don't think that would make the cut.
I mean, is he going for the strikeout? Is he trying to get him to hit the ball on the ground here?
Well, and are you right there trying to speed him up, change an eye level? I mean, whatever it was, he did not execute that pitch like he wanted to, pulled it well off the plate, so it really served no purpose. But how about that?
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, that's that curveball. And again, it was good the last start. All of his strikeouts were on the curveball. Most of them against left-handed hitters, but this, the righty, we just said he needed a strikeout so badly, and boy, did he get it. Wow. That curveball up and down. Good velocity, really tight spin.
So now with 2 outs, it's up to Richie Palacios. There it is again.
Yeah.
He won't stop throwing it until they start hitting it, right? I mean,
why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why would you stop? I mean, you don't want to beat it, you know, just beat it over and over again, but pick your spots. And in a tight spot like this, obviously one of his go-to pitches.
Another one.
And he missed that one. That one hung. That one stayed up and in the middle of the plate. That's the one that Richie would love to have another shot at. That almost was too bad of a curveball because it was way up.
So bad it was effective.
Yeah, you know, the one down below the zone that'll get you, the one at the top of the zone that you really miss, you know, can hurt the hitter. It's the one that you leave in the middle, that rolls in the middle, that gets pounded.
Tried it third in a row.
That's a good block there by Basayo on a tough breaking ball. Becomes such a big deal when you get that runner at third, those catchers back behind the plate being able to smother and block baseballs.
Well, it looks now for sure that Jax is coming out. Garrett Clevenger's coming in. And that curveball, nothing but curves to Palacios in that sequence. The new best friend of Shane Baz, and he does settle things down.
That was a win.
Rays TV is brought to you by Orlando Health. We make it personal. And by Rooms to Go. Get fashion, style, and quality all at low prices on every item every day. Garrett Clevenger is the new pitcher. Why? Well, Griffin Jax got hit by a line drive off the bat of Leody Taveras, and this is what it looked like.
I mean, just nowhere for him to go. It hit him right in the middle of his lower back. Now, he did stay in the game and was able to make it through that inning. But you could see in between innings, talking with Joe Benj and Kevin Cash, you got the feeling that this is exactly what was going to happen.
Let's take a listen. Ryan Bass has some more info for us. Ryan?
Yeah, you saw when Jax came into the dugout, he kind of circled a little bit. Kevin Cash gave over to him and asked him where that baseball hit him, and he pointed to the back right side of his back and basically kind of held his hand there and indicated to head athletic trainer Joe Benj was still a little bit sore. So after a brief discussion, they went under the tunnel, and now Griffin Jax is out of this game. We'll, of course, get a further update post-game. Jax looked like he wanted to stay in, but, guys, obviously the Rays are going to play it safe.
You have to at this spot, right? Thank you. And no doubt he's already getting treatment. So now it's a turn for Garrett Clevenger. Will turn into a bullpen day. High bouncer. Nicely played by Palacios.
With an assist from Jonathan Aranda on that throw that didn't quite get there.
Let me ask you this, B.A., because I'm guessing you took a comebacker on a line drive every now and then. Is it different than a hitter getting hit by a pitch? Or is it basically the same thing? Or
well, you know, I mean, yeah, in theory, but a lot of times those hard line drives coming back at you, first of all, you're closer than 60 feet 6 inches. You're at 55, 54, whatever it is, and a lot of them are coming back harder than they were going in. You know, they're coming back at 100 plus, and you're closer. So it depends on where it hits you. And I've been hit, I mean, 2 times that really stick out. I got hit by Henry Rodriguez in Chicago when he was with the Cubs, and it hit just above the outside of my left elbow. And I mean, it felt like my arm had disintegrated. It was unbelievable. And then one other time in Colorado, I got hit on a follow-through. I got hit with a line drive off my left foot, and it broke my foot, broke my 5th metatarsal. Yeah, that was a bad one. That hurt like crazy.
The one that hit your arm, it didn't chip the bone or anything, though?
No, and it's funny because the doctor said if it would have hit the outside of your elbow, he said if that hits an inch further down, he said it was a bad line drive. But yeah, listen, you understand that's part of it. You understand that is part of the risk. And a lot of times you don't have a whole lot of time to react either if they catch it clean. Yeah, you can move the glove here. Now, how many times have you seen a line drive go back through the middle of the field and you show the slow-mo replay and the ball is by the pitcher before his glove comes up? I mean, that's how quickly these things get on you.
As Clevenger strikes out beside you, something else comes to mind, too. A hitter, for all the reasons you're just saying, but a hitter does have a chance. I mean, he's staring at the baseball coming in. He's still, and there's a chance to move. The pitcher's like barely done his follow through, so his body's in kind of a weird position.
Yeah. The hitter, to your point, exactly, knows that you're throwing a ball that's going to be somewhat in his area. When you're making a pitch, you're thinking that you're making a quality pitch, and you're going to get the guy out swinging. You're going to do it. You're not expecting that blistering shot right back at you. That's why you have no time to react.
Mentioned Henry Rodriguez. You got my mind going here. I saw Henry Rodriguez one time hit 4 home runs in a spring training game. And each one was like a laser beam by the way, 4 at-bats in a spring training game, veteran player. So when he was with the Dodgers.
I was just going to say, who gets 4 at-bats in a spring training game anymore?
Against the Mets, I think 1995. Good running play by Victor Mesa. One of those line drives hit poor BA's arm. Thankfully, folks, he's all recovered. Still 3-1 Baltimore.
And you can eat.
Well, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. The Rays and Orlando Health are offering free mental health first aid training to help you recognize and respond to mental health and substance abuse challenges. Learn more and sign up at orlandohealth.com/mental health first aid training. Into the 4th inning. And Cedric Mullins going to start it off.
They're going to challenge that, and I wondered. That ball looked like it stayed on the plate. Let's see. Is it above the zone? It's above the zone. How about it?
Baltimore has 1 remaining.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where when you watch that pitch go in, you're like, will they, won't they? They did, and he missed it.
And that just misses with a change. So 2-1 to Mullins.
That's a pitch that he has been running from this season as opposed to last year. And it has not been nearly as effective for Shane Baz. He did get the strikeout earlier in this game on Chandler Simpson with the changeup. You just wonder what it would look like if he was still with the Rays. With their their added importance that they have put on that pitch, and they have upped the usage as a staff. They've almost doubled what they were doing a season ago. And look at this year. Not using it nearly as much, and the whiff rate from 28 to 7. So not getting a lot of swing and miss on that pitch at all, and not using it as much either.
Found the corner against Mullins. Shane Baz last year so often would have a lead. He would look incredible, and then there would be like one bad inning and the whole thing would be given back. We'll see if the Rays can force that to happen tonight. But he is looking strong so far. We talked about McClanahan missing 2.5 years yesterday. Baz, same kind of thing. Missed an awful lot of time, came back, was pretty much very good right away in the 24 season. And then last year, definitely some high highs, but some runs that didn't go so well. I don't think the Rays lost hope in him, though. I think they just got a really good package offered by the Orioles and had to for the Rays to trade him within the American League East, I would think.
Yeah, there definitely would be a premium on that. And And they were able to get what they were looking for. So it's probably a tough trade to make. But when you look at the return, you're like, how can we not make it?
Those guys, plus that balance pick, competitive balance pick, was a pick that went to the Orioles when the Rays got Brian Baker. So they got that pick right back in the Shane Baz deal. Names you'll be hearing in the future for the Rays on that screen. Mesa right to Alonso. And now a word from Pizza Hut.
Tampa Bay fans know who the real MVP is of game day grub, because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
All right, here's Hunter Fiducia, 2 out, nobody on. Hunter at his first big league home run against Baz last week. Well, this is what happened. Boom.
That was loud. Loud on the replay. Middle in, down, and Fiducia unloaded on it. Got it out near that Rays tank. First ever home run in the big leagues.
And then, as you pointed out, had the bunt single later in the game that led to the game-winning rally.
That speaks to the selfless nature of this Rays offense, of really this Rays team. These guys will do whatever it takes to win.
2-2. Boy, 98. Fastball climbing.
Boy, that sets up so many things when you can put 98 on the plate up. All of a sudden now that curveball down becomes effective. The changeup. There's a lot of different ways that Baz can go here because he's got a lot working. There's the curve. There it is.
When in doubt, go to that knuckle curve. Shane Baz in the lead midway through the 4th. A look in the Inner Harbor of beautiful Charm City. The Rays post-game concert series, it's back in full swing at Tropicana Field. Catch Cole Swindell this coming Saturday, May 30th, when the Rays take on the Angels. You can level up your experience with an on-field wristband to get even closer to the music. Visit raysbaseball.com/concerts. Angels coming to town, B.A.
Yeah.
Some big names. But the Angels overall in last place, 20-34 coming in.
There are 4 American League teams that are above 500. There's a division leader in the A's that are a 500 team. You have 4 teams above 500. So we can say right now, unequivocally, the American League stinks.
Kind of does.
Okay, so if you are in last place in the American League, enough said.
You're bad.
You know, there was one time a couple of years ago where I said some nice things about the Angels on a broadcast.
Okay.
Joe Madden was still their manager at that point. We had gone out west. Reed Detmers no-hit the Rays. Came back and just made a comment that they look like a real team. And it immediately went south. They haven't been the same since. And I haven't heard the end of it since.
Wow. They haven't recovered since your nice comments.
No, and I get reminded of them.
Look at this.
Too often.
So many American League teams in there.
All of them. It is remarkable. I mean, you have 15 teams in the American League. Only 4 have winning records. You have a division leader that's a 500 team, and everybody else is below.
Angels aren't devoid of talent either. They've got some pretty high-end players. Soriano's a heck of a pitcher. Here's Oliver Dunn's first chance from short. Nice throw, 1 out. They still got Trout. Nolan Shonowell, Joe Adell.
Hey, as a friend, be careful. Just be careful. Be careful.
Okay.
Some shark-infested waters, Andy.
You know what they say on any given day, any team.
I did it one time, and I never have heard the end of it. I'm reminded of it all the time, which is exactly why they have found a way to lead you to lead me into an Angel discussion.
Yeah.
I'm not taking the bait.
I feel like I was used.
You totally
there.
were. 100% you were used.
Well, see what happens today and tomorrow. But while you never want to overlook series, don't get me wrong. But I mean, you'd like to think the Rays could have a solid homestand. They've been incredibly good at home this year.
Yeah, but you know the nature of this game. How many times do you hear a story, you read about a game, and you're like, well, that's baseball.
Right.
You got to go out there and you still have to play. You can't take anything for granted.
See, before this little chunk of the season, Rays were in first, and I saw 24 out of 27 games coming up were against sub-500 teams. Most of these teams on the screen right now, sub-500.
I got to be honest with you. That's a rough graphic to look at. That's a rough graphic to look at. The Angels, team from South Florida.
Right.
That's a rough little stretch.
Yeah. It's a trap. Well, Clevenger has gone 5 for 5 in batters faced. Trying to keep this thing manageable.
I mean, overpowering. 97. How late was that swing by Blaze Alexander? That ball was by him. And that's the thing with Clevenger. He's got really good stuff that has really good late life. The breaking ball's been sharp tonight. That fastball, we just saw how good that pitch can be. It's always been a matter of him staying in the zone. For the longest time, when Garrett Clevenger gets into trouble, it's because he gets himself into trouble. It's not a lot of times the other team just teeing off on him. You don't see that very often. His stuff's too good.
When he's on, I'd put him in the top tier of lefties in the league.
I would. Yeah, I would too. I would too. You know, and again, if he's in and around the zone, he's going to give a hitter a hard time, a real hard time.
1-2 here to Blaze Alexander.
I mean, even that, just get off me. I mean,
what are you going to do with that?
Nothing. That's the best thing that Blaze Alexander could have done right there, is foul that pitch off. You go back to that breaking ball. He's had really good command of that slider here in this outing, and he already has one swing and miss on that pitch. Especially after that fastball in, I'd go right back to it. Especially now. He tried to beef up the velocity there, went from 97 to 98. You're speeding up Alexander. Now all of a sudden, boom, drop that slider right in the middle. See that little slider sandwich?
Well, would you go backdoor?
I would go to the slider 2 pitches ago.
Backdoor it though, or back foot?
No, back foot it. Okay. The one that he got the swing and miss on to get to strike 2, I would go right back to that pitch. And he has sped him up now with 3-4 fastballs in a row.
Still going heated.
Yeah.
There's the slider, and there goes the inning.
So you could have saved yourself 4 pitches.
He could have. Might be his last pitch of the game, but he throws 2 nifty innings. And it's 3-1. There's that slider.
Better pizza, Papa John's.
You could score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Rays, the official source for your Rays gear.
Well, how about this, Andy? That's now 16 out of 18 first pitch strikes by Shane Baz. He's not fallen behind a hitter 2-0, and he's not had a 3-ball count yet tonight.
He's doing it again.
Oh,
did it hit him or not?
How did not?
All right, you often talk to me about the 1-1 pitch. Well, first let's see it. Well, missed him.
Almost unbuckled that belt.
Yes, he did. What's more important, the first pitch strike or the 1-1 pitch? Go.
Right now, the 1-1 pitch is. I mean, absolutely.
Backhanded by Holiday to retire Oliver Dunn.
It's your biggest swing pitch that you're going to get, because that 1-1 count, obviously, if it's not put into play like that, is going to lead to 2-1 or 1-2. Well, 1-2, you're in complete control as a pitcher. 2-1, okay, now it starts to swing. The pendulum starts to swing, towards the hitter. And when you look at the differences in batting averages and on-base percentages between 1-2 and 2-1, that's your biggest gap. Yeah. That's going to be your biggest gap, that's provided by one pitch. You just don't have a bigger swing count. And so that becomes really important. But to control counts, strike one. You start setting the tone, strike one, you immediately start to put that hitter on the defensive.
And Simpson drops in another second hit of the game. So the tying run comes up. Hey, that's a hit on the knuckle curve, isn't it?
It was. Well, that was the one. It didn't get to the top of the zone, and it wasn't the A+ one below the zone. That's the one that rolled in the middle, and Chandler was able to jump on it.
Here's a chance for the Rays. Thought he got a fastball to hit and fouled it back. 0-1. As great as Junior is, and boy, he is a franchise player, every bit of it. But he's had 2 rough games in a row, and at just 22 years of age, I would think anybody's confidence would get wavered. You're playing on the big stage here, and he's doing what he can to bounce out of this. For Simpson back to first. You know what I mean? He's 22.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a kid.
Yeah. Well, and that's where you have to trust the process. You can see. Well, tonight's game, that was that line drive to left field that we said, he hit that thing 6, 7, 8 feet off the ground, and it almost got out to the left fielder. That's how hard he hit that ball. But that's where the process comes in. That's why these guys have the routines that they do. They put the work in. They do all the things that they need to do to be successful, not only out on the field, but mentally. I put the work, and you just trust that process. You have to know, if you're Junior Caminero, that the talent is there, and this game can be unforgiving at times, and you're going to have some bad games, but you got to be able to put it behind you and bounce back. Easier said than done, but that's where your process comes in. You come to the ballpark, you do your thing, you go out, you do your early work, you hit off of a tee, you take your BP, you do all the things that you do that put you in the spot mentally that you're ready to go out and perform. And that's what Chad Mottola, I'm sure him and his staff, working with these young players, especially like Junior, just keep encouraging them.
It's 2-2. Hit the Orioles pretty hard last week in St. Pete.
That's the last thing you can do as a player in any sport, but especially in everyday sport like baseball. If you let that game get into your head a little bit, I'll rub it.
Sounded like it hit the shin guard.
I think it might have rattled around and caught.
Oh, didn't only hit the shin guard?
Right.
He's smiling, so might be hearing it from his dugout. It's Brady North in the middle there. Just sat down, former Rays assistant hitting coach.
You know what? That's so weird that you said, because I'm looking at him like, that looks like Brady North.
Yeah. Second throw over from Boz.
Well, let's see now if Chandler expands that lead, and you should, whether you're going to go or not. Once you've disengaged both times, get yourself a little bit bigger of a lead. He's not coming over again. He's not. And if he does and he doesn't get you, it's a balk. So you're going to walk to second.
It's a pretty good size lead. Not going. All 3.
Well, like we said, and I'd send him here. absolutely would send him here. This pitch down and in.
How do you lay off? But he did.
Yeah, he's getting real big. You got to go. He's going.
Ball 4, first and second from 0-2 to a walk. 0-2 to a walk. And now 2 on, 1 out.
Well, maybe this is the inning. Maybe this is the inning that the Rays can get to him, because he's been cruising.
League's RBI leader coming up. Broke the tie with Christian Walker of the Astros earlier today, driving in the lone run of the night. And now a chance. Inadvertent foul.
Well, this is what Jonathan Aranda does when given the opportunity. And right there, he gets a mistake up out over the plate. He shortens the swing. He lines it into right center. Here comes Chandler Simpson. And the Rays with that early 1-0 lead. Now it's been erased by Baltimore. Let's see if the Rays can mount a little comeback here.
Well, Boz has jumped ahead 0-2. And you wonder now, is it going to be knuckle curve mania? That's been the out pitch for Boz so far tonight, as it was last week.
And it follows that pitch up right there. You know, when you change an eye level, you speed a guy up, and we've seen him do it here a couple of times tonight. Then all of a sudden, boom, here comes that curveball down below the zone.
Wow. Just went high heat.
Yeah, I mean, he did not even mess around with Aranda. And that was very similar to the pitch that he got the hit with earlier in the game. So to go right back to it, that's pretty gutsy by Boz, but it worked out for him. I mean, there's nothing fancy about this. This is a challenge fastball at the top of the zone. Our Orlando Health slow-mo replay, and Aranda just couldn't get it there.
Boz going right through the heart of the. I mean, what more could the Rays want? 2 on, 1 out. Aranda and Yandy up. And 4 straight strikes for Boz. Man, one strike after another. Guess he didn't like that baseball that just got him 5 straight strikes. It's 0-2. Popped up out of play. Yandy checking his bat over. No chips. Okay. Inside move, but no one coming to check on Simpson. Too high. Boz is gearing it up. Topping out at 98. Gracious can't do much against that curveball, and he got Yandy chasing. And credit to Boz. Went after Aranda and Yandy Diaz and struck them both out to keep Baltimore in front. Rays TV is brought to you by Advent Health. You're our priority in a medical emergency. Advent Health. And by Chili's Big Crispy 3 for Me, the best $10.99 you can eat. Utah Street, the B&O Warehouse, longest building east of the Mississippi in the United States, as the Rays trail the Orioles 3-1 at the halfway point. And now rookie Trevor Martin comes on, and it has been a long time since he took to the hill. Trying to get it out on one pitch, but nope, out of play.
Well, this is the challenge here for the Rays in tonight's ball game. You're already trailing by 2. You can't afford to let this lead get much bigger, especially with the way that Boz is throwing the baseball. On top of that, your starter Griffin Jax out of this ball game after getting hit with that line drive and getting through that second inning, but obviously coming out. So it's going to, a big portion of this ball game laying at the feet of the Rays bullpen. So you're going to need a big time performance out of them. So far so good with Garrett Clevenger, and now you've got Martin.
But how much can you expect out of a guy that hasn't been on a mound in 16 days? That's a challenge.
Yeah, there's nothing easy about that, and I'm sure that every couple of days he's throwing a little touch and feel to try to stay in some sort of rhythm. But yeah, that is not easy to go 2+ weeks without being on the mound in a competitive game.
It has been since May 10th that Trevor Martin last pitched for the Durham Bulls. 3 straight games against Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Rail Riders. Last pitched in the bigs, as we saw, April 25th against Minnesota. 3 appearances for the Rays so far this year. 2-2. Busted his bat. That fouls it away. At least it sounded like a busted bat. I guess not. Right there on the hands. Holiday and then Ward and Henderson in the Oriole 5th. On, and he's 2 for 2 in that number 9 spot.
He did a really good job of following that splitter down to the bottom of the zone and then lining it through the middle of the field. I'm sure that Martin, especially after he pulled that ball foul, thought he had him set up for that pitch. And let's take a look at it. Our Orlando Health slow-mo replay. And we saw the end of it. It got down to that baseball and lined it right through the middle of the field. So Kyle Snyder coming out here, top of the order. And again, this right here lets you know how big this inning is. You cannot allow it to get more than 2 runs. You see that right there. And he kept it on the outer part of the plate. You see Fiducia drop his head too, feeling like they had a pretty good pitch right there, and Holiday spoiled it.
It is interesting, though, visit to the mound just 1 batter in. You don't often see that.
You don't, and I think that just speaks to the gravity of the situation. You just cannot allow this to get to 3, 4, 5 when you're going to have to lean on your bullpen that heavily with the way that Shane Boz is throwing the baseball. So I mean, you're trying to nip this in the bud right now.
This is the top of the order now, Taylor Ward. To right center field, Mullins has a bead and makes the catch.
Gonna tag up? No. Nice job. Holiday went back to first base aggressively like he was going to tag and feel like that ball was deep enough to center field to try to challenge Mullins' arm, but he got rid of it quickly. A strong throw into second base and kept him over there at first. Keep the double play in order.
That's it. Cedric knows this outfield. He could probably play with his eyes closed. He's been here for so long. Here's Gunnar Henderson. You know, the shame of it too, and you hope that the Jacks thing is only a brief respite. Hopefully he can make his next start. We'll just have to wait and see. But I thought he looked like he had pretty sharp stuff earlier on.
Yeah.
I mean, he flew through the Orioles in the first, and then that bizarre second inning. 2 errors in the inning. Can they turn it? 1. Nope, just the 1. It's okay. I think the Rays did everything with that they could. And that little soft tapper by Henderson. Well, school is out for the summer. That means meals stop for many kids across Tampa Bay. Keep children fueled and ready to learn by supporting the Cereal for Summer donation drive. Saturday, May 30th. Donate 5 or more items and receive a ticket voucher to watch your Rays. Learn more at raysbaseball.com/cereal. I think what Albernaz is asking. They're going to bring in Will Little, the umpire, at second. Is there something with the play at second? That's Lance Barksdale, the crew chief.
Baltimore is challenging the out call at second base.
Huh.
I mean, they must feel they really have something, because the Rays weren't really even attempting to turn a double play there.
Oh,
yeah.
Saw it on the big board.
Yeah, watch this. As this ball goes into Oliver Dunn's glove, does that right foot come off the bag? This could be not real good. It was on the back of that bag, and as he started to take the throw into the glove, watch right here, that right foot, it comes off.
I think this is going to
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, that's an eagle eye downstairs for Baltimore to be able to find that and find it quickly. And this, I think, is going to go in Baltimore's favor.
I don't know who the video person is, but they just got a save.
And a raise.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's catching that ball straddling the bag. And that left foot doesn't come back to the bag, and obviously neither does the right. I think the fact that it's taking so long may benefit the Rays, because that should be pretty cut and dry.
This has been a weird night.
Yeah, see, that left foot never does get back to the bag before the runner slides in.
Yeah, I honestly haven't seen anything that would lead you to believe it's not going to get overturned.
Yeah, again, I don't know what could possibly be taking so long.
After review, the call of the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Baltimore will retain their foul.
Okay. The eagle eye, as BA says. For the Orioles.
I mean, that's a great job of picking that up, because they're absolutely right. And so what looked like, hey, just take the force out, not going to try to get the double play with Henderson running, and the Rays got a little bit greedy, and the bag was not secured.
So it's 2 on, and still only 1 out, and it gets Pete Alonso up. They will put that into the books as an error shortstop. So an error to Oliver Dunn, which is the 3rd error of the night by the Rays.
I mean, that's 7 in the last game and a half. Well, I guess if you count 13 innings, then 2 games,
so,
but
yeah.
Regardless.
I think he got it off the end of the bat, and it's dropping quickly. Chandler Simpson runs it down. So with 3 errors, I mean, the way I always look at errors, I mean, look, errors happen, whatever. But you're basically giving the Orioles then 30 outs tonight when you're only playing with 27 yourself. That's a full extra inning worth of outs that the O's have gotten. Going to get Basayo and make it all not matter. And this isn't an error, but I would think it's a pass ball.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. What Fiducia's trying to do there, that ball is going to be working its way out of the zone. So he's trying to keep his hand in the strike zone and catch that ball in the webbing to try to present it well. Watch how he just doesn't let that glove loose. He's trying to be perfect with the catch. And instead, it just kind of clanks off the thumb and gets down between the legs.
Rays are fighting themselves tonight. And by the way, you got a rookie pitcher up there making his 4th big league appearance, having not pitched in 16 days. You're asking an awful lot. Still, though, 1 out to get, and you move on. But it's a very big out to get. Turns the game in either direction. 3-1 is manageable. A single makes it much less so. Leody Taveras on deck. Right center field, hit well, and the Rays pay for all the mistakes. 3-run homer, Samuel Basallo, and the Orioles pull away. It's 6-1.
Just not doing very much pitch in the middle of the plate, and Basallo, we know he's got good juice, and he knew he got that one, and that's a big one. Those 3-run, you talk about turning a game on its head, and then this.
And now a bunt single by Taveras.
Well, he gets a cement mixer in the middle of the plate, and there it was. Not much question.
I mean, the Rays have certainly had some bad fortune tonight with the Griffin Jacks, liner. But the Rays have not helped themselves.
No, absolutely right. It's been sloppy. It was sloppy in yesterday's ball game. Yeah, you know that's something that does not sit well with Kevin Cash or really anybody else on that dugout. Because the one thing that the Rays, painting with a broad brush, do very, very well, they don't beat themselves. They pitch well, they play good defense, and then the offense, what kind of identity are you going to have from year to year? But they don't beat themselves. They've done too much of that this year. Early in the season, it was not good, but then they kind of righted the ship, and defensively, the things started to come around, and they tightened things up. But the last couple of days, it's been not pretty.
Starting Sunday, I think in New York, Rays didn't help themselves on the bases late in the game, especially, and now 2 straight in Baltimore, where they're beating themselves. 1-2, the count to Jackson.
The Rays have played, I think 9 extra inning games. The way that this team is built, they're going to play a lot of close games. And if you're going to be that type of team, you got to be locked down. You can't not beat yourself because you're going to be in a lot of tight games.
Straightaway center field with Taveras running. Jackson flies out to Mullins. And now the Rays have an awful lot of work to do. They're down 5 through 5 at Camden Yards.
Discipline that delivers.
Well, Andy, I'll let you share your little fun fact at a later moment here. But right now, the Orioles all over the Rays, 6-1. And Shane Baz, he's throwing the ball very, very well. How about this? A StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. He's throwing 28 curveballs. Now, I know the curveball has been a big pitch for him. It was the last time he faced the Rays, and it certainly has been here tonight. But 28 through 5 innings, and you can see there's a good portion of them there that were left right in the strike zone that the Rays have not been able to do a whole lot against. Certainly the ones that have been out of the zone have led to a lot of swings and misses.
What about that graphic, though? You talk about the ones that are in the zone. Are all of those hittable? I mean, what if they just have, a ton of movement, even though they're ending up? It's not like all of them are hung, right?
Yeah, no, right. That does not mean that they're all hung. But tonight they have been able to capitalize on some 3 hits, but 3 for 20 over the last 2 ball games. 10 strikeouts. Yeah, it's been. I just can't believe that. It's been a big pitch for him tonight, but 28 already just through 5 innings. And what? How many pitches did he come into this inning with? 70? Yeah.
That's a lot. But by the way, that fastball right there, 95. He's hit 98, 99 tonight too.
Well, and those 2 pitches, if they're being executed well, they complement each other. That fastball top of the zone, then that 12-6 vertical curveball right off of that.
Ranging back on it is Ward and 1 out.
I'll tell you what, even with the move back of left field and then they move it back in just a little bit, that's still what a difference than just a few years ago. That plays so much bigger.
Well, and you were playing. You remember when this place was built, although I guess it was built right before you got into the league. It was built in '92. At the time, the Orioles had an acrobatic left and center field combination of Brady Anderson and Mike Devereaux, and it was built shallow and at that height to give them opportunity to go up and take home runs back, which they did. But I think over the course of time, the O's sort of, I think their pitchers were none too pleased at how many home runs would go over the wall.
I can remember being here and always wanted to take a rangefinder or an actual do something, because whatever was listed at in left center field, baloney.
Shorter.
It was shorter. I mean, this was a bandbox. And when you think about summertime and the way that the ball would jump and the lineups that they would put out, I was thinking about that walking in yesterday in the 1997 ALCS. We talked about it, what this building was like and what that lineup and those teams were like, and then how small this place was.
Mullins straight up to Tavares. 2 down. Let's go now for an injury update on Griffin Jacks. Here's Ryan Bass.
Yeah, we obviously saw Griffin Jacks leave the game after getting that line drive 107 miles per hour off of the bat. He has been left this game with a lower back contusion, so he is out with a back contusion. He's listed as day-to-day, so hopefully it's not anything more serious. Again, day-to-day, could potentially be making his next start. We'll check with him post-game, but back contusion is the official update on Griffin Jacks.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Back contusion. A deep bruise, I suppose. Hopefully nothing chipped or broken or anything more devastating than that. So if he's lined up to pitch again, we'll see him during the Tiger series, right after the Angel series, I would think. We can only hope. They can do some pretty amazing things to get guys back, on the
I mean, they could do that, back when I was playing. And I think that what they have available, the resources that they have now, it's so much better that, if there's any chance that he's going to be able to pitch, he'll pitch. I mean, they've got stuff they can send you back to the room with, send you home with.
They do. We see that sometimes on the plane.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So you're getting treatment in your home. When I was playing, you got treatment at the field. Right. That was it. Any treatment away from the field was pop a couple Advil. Right. That was the end of it. And now they can take, devices back to the room, back home.
Your area was, here's a bag of ice. And
Ice it later, and take a couple Advil. You're good.
I've been watching baseball a long time, as you have too. There's Mike Sandoval, does a lot of that work. When the Rays had Nelson Cruz in 2021, I saw his arm after he got hit by a pitch late in the season. I could not believe, and this was like a week or 2 later, it was still like green. The bruise was just starting to recover. I mean, these guys play it off as if it's not that big a deal. They continue playing with hit by pitches or comebackers quite often enough, but you talk about leaving a mark. He had a huge shoulder anyway, and I was sitting there looking at him and I'm like, Nelson, this is from that one hit by pitch. He's like, yeah. And this was like 2 weeks or a week or 2 after, and it still looked horrendous.
Yeah, and he continued to climb into the box and risk getting it hit again.
Absolutely.
Think about the catchers. Think about Nick Fortes.
You bet.
That poor guy. I mean, he's been getting beat up all season long. It started early and it hasn't stopped, even to the collision at the plate in yesterday's game. Hunter Fiducia, he understands the same thing. That position is unforgiving.
I'll even throw in the umpires. By the time summer rolls around, those guys have been beat up.
Yeah.
Nothing in 2 to Fiducia after the walk to Mesa. Fouled away again. Got to say this for Boz too. He's given up a league high 21 doubles. And in this ballpark, the league's been hitting 320 against him. You would never know it from how well he's pitched tonight. And on top of it, the game he pitched at the Trop last week. He's looked fantastic. Nothing in 2 to Fiducia. 1-2. I mean, this is his new home, and he signed through the 2030 season. He's going to have to get used to it. That ERA has been dropping tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to finish this game off in style, those numbers are going to be much closer.
Hooked foul. Still 1-2. Yeah, he was signed to a 5-year extension right at the end of spring training that covers every season through 2030. So we're going to be seeing him a lot as an opposing pitcher.
And they had to know that. Yeah, obviously they did know that, you know, in making that trade. So they were comfortable enough to do that with the return that they were getting.
The knuckle curve finishes off Hunter Fiducia. And Shane Baz and the Orioles in full command through 5.5.
So we told you about a little tease to something during Sunday game that will be happening here on Tuesday. Well, we've got something to announce here on Rays TV. It is the best summer ever, and I'm not just using that tongue-in-cheek. It is true. The Rays are announcing their best summer ever deal, which is an all-new family-friendly pack to tell you about. There is a lot to cover here, so let me give it to you. So this new summer family pack starts at $27 per person. That includes your tickets, food, even parking. Kids 14 and under can also get a new on-field pregame experience badge before Monday through Saturday games and actually step onto the field before first pitch. And all the family favorites are back too. The Countdown's Clubhouse, of course, which everybody loves. That is kid family friendly. That is a part of it. So there's a lot of experiences for the kiddos. BA, I know you mentioned you're bringing the kids on this next homestand. I'll tell you what, best summer ever, buddy. It starts with your kids this weekend.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. They're going to be wearing out the Trop this weekend. And they're excited for it.
I'll bet they are.
It's starting to get into that point where they love watching games and they love coming to the ballpark. Their big brother's coming into town. And the thought of getting to go with Big Brother to the ballpark, maybe see Dad.
Do they idolize Big Brother?
Oh, God. Bubba? Yes. Yes.
Is that what they call him?
They call him Bubba. Bubba and Sissy. Their older sister, their older brother.
That's fantastic. I like when I see them following you. It looks like, you know, little ducklings in a row right behind you, running to keep up with you because you walk at a fast pace. But they can keep up.
Yeah, they do. They love coming out to the ballpark.
Full count here to Kowser to begin the 6th.
Well, and you know what? It's that time of year, too. School, you know, is coming to an end.
Not yet, almost
Not
done.
quite. They've got a couple more days. And, boy, then the floodgates open and you get the kids to the ballpark. What a great time.
Hard and foul. Stays 3-2. Well, it was my favorite place to go as a kid growing up.
I can never forget old Cleveland Municipal Stadium and walking. You had to walk up to then get to the top, and then you could see the field. And you're making that walk, and all you can see is the sky. And then all of a sudden you saw the field, and it was the most beautiful thing that these young eyes had ever seen. Meanwhile, Cleveland Municipal Stadium back then was a dump.
Right, but you didn't know that.
No, I thought it was the greatest field ever. It was a big league field with lots of stands and seats. And
you know, I had that same experience going to Memorial Stadium here in Baltimore, in fact, and looking back at it, it was very powerful to me, just as it was to you. As an adult, I've looked back and thought, well, why was it so powerful? And you know why? I think I figured it out. You talk about that ramp going up and that it appears, it's almost cinematic. You know, it's like a movie. The camera goes up, our little eyes, as you say, and it just unfolds in front of you like this giant cathedral. You see the big lights, and it's like nothing you've ever experienced before.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll never forget. Yeah, and we would be driving. We lived out east, about 45 miles east of Cleveland, and so when we were heading that way, you were all of a sudden you could see Municipal Stadium in the distance, and Chief Wahoo, the big fluorescent Chief Wahoo up there at the top in the batting stance. That was like your first ever. Oh my gosh, we're almost there. And you're right, it's such a big building. You're such a little guy,
right.
You know, a little kid.
Larger than life.
Larger than life. Larger than life. Nothing like it. And I'm sure that's the same for all of these kids that get to go to the Trop and see the field and see all the everything that goes with it.
I can remember feeling my heartbeat, and I can remember shallow breaths because I couldn't quite believe what I was looking at. I never heard you say it before. You had that experience too.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Every time I went up there.
Yeah. And the way Tropicana Field is built too, you do get that. You're right. You go down those tunnels on certain sections of the ballpark, and it just kind of
all of a sudden it opens up in front of you. Yep.
See if the Rays can turn it. Dunn to Palacios to Aranda.
Save. Oh, they got him. They got him. No.
Will there be a challenge? Yep, they're going to challenge.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it looked up here like they got him. I mean, Richie out there at second base, he did not step in the throw. I don't think that he felt like he needed to. It was a nice job by Dunn, how quickly he gets him the ball. Right here, boom, that was nice. And then Richie.
Tampa Bay has
they
got
got
a safe call at first base.
They got him.
Trevor Martin certainly hoping so.
Yeah, that double play was started perfectly by Dunn. There was no wasted movement whatsoever in shuffling that ball quickly to Richie, and he got the throw there on time.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Tampa Bay will retain the challenge.
It is a 6-4-3 double play. Even when they showed it on the big board here in Baltimore, there was like no reaction from the crowd, which leads you to believe there it is.
Well, that's why. He's nowhere near the bag yet.
So 2 out, nobody on. And here's Jackson Holliday. And that helps out Trevor Martin. Rays may leave him out there for a little while. They've had to go long in the bullpen today with Jax getting hit by the line drive. And we got another game tomorrow before the off day on Thursday. You know what I wonder, though? If, Kimbrel hasn't pitched in a while after he had been let go by the Mets. So you wonder, Martin for a little bit, and even if the Rays are trailing, just to get Kimbrel onto a mound again.
Why not?
It'd be a night
why not? And he's enough of a veteran and understands how this all works that if he was needed again in tomorrow's ball game, he'd be ready to go.
You bet. Nice inning for Trevor Martin after the leadoff walk, the double play, and a routine grounder. We're through 6. O's still in charge.
O-Dealers.
This 7th inning is brought to you by Hyundai. I've seen some Rays fans here in Baltimore these last few days. O's won the wild one yesterday, but in command here in game 2. Rays haven't lost 3 in a row or even lost a series in over a month. But they've got to change some things quickly. Another good night for Shane Baz.
Well, I'll tell you what, 9 strikeouts. That's a season high through 6 innings. Back out there for the 7th.
Dunn, and at the top of the order, Simpson and Caminero against Boz. Chandler's had a good night, couple of hits, and has scored the only Rays run. Fouled back again by Dunn, and still 1-2. Pretty good numbers for AAA Charlotte in the White Sox system. The knuckle curve hit the other way. Alexander gets a hustling Dunn for 1 out. Chandler, who doubled to begin the game, scored on a base hit by Aranda in the first, and that's been about all the offense for the Rays tonight. Taveras for the second out. The rooms to go American League East standings. Yankees have gained 2 games in 2 days. They're in Kansas City today, taking on the Royals. That's Grant Wolf from the lefty and Yennier Cano, the right-hander. For Baltimore, they got a 5-run lead with 7 outs to get. Sounded good off the bat, but just under it. And it's 7 very good innings today for Shane Baz as we reach the 7th inning stretch at Camden Yards. All Orioles at the moment. Rays TV, it's brought to you by Orlando Health. We make it personal. Look inside Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and Baltimore in control. A very sloppy game. All 6 of those runs scored by the Orioles are unearned tonight. 3 errors and a pass ball. And it's just not been a good little segment of this season. Bad 3 days in a row for the first place Rays. Trevor Martin, though, back to the top of the order. Ward, Henderson, Alonso. Right off the knuckles, and 1 ball 1 strike.
A little bit of a stumble there by Martin. That's what caused that ball to kind of run in a little bit. Still ended up being effective and a strike.
When you see a stumble, is it almost always that a spike gets caught?
Yes, and did you see right there? He really flipped that foot open to make sure that it did not happen again, because a lot of times on that, as you're starting to drop and drive and that foot's coming down, it gets really close to that, to the mound, and every now and then if you get just a little bit lazy or something just a little bit off, that cleat will catch, and that's when the stumble occurs.
Well, it's amazing, just the tiny fraction of inches on a movement make things line up or not line up. Like a lot of times you'll see a guy throw a pitch that, I don't know, goes 98, 99 miles an hour. I'd always heard that it's not that they threw it harder, it's just that everything mechanically just synced up perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's why you get the great explosion out of the head.
Yeah, and that's why you work when you have time to. You can't just go out and pitch all day every day to get your mechanics repeatable. But that's why every throw matters.
Yeah.
Every throw matters, and you want to just continue to work towards repeating that delivery to where you can do it in your sleep. And that's what allows you to have good command. It allows you to be able to tunnel your pitches, all of the things, which then leads to good results like that. Take that fastball upstairs, and you get the swing and a miss.
Baseball is such a game of fine-tuning. All right, here's Gunnar Henderson. To the backhand side of Palacios. Good hustle by Henderson, but it's out number 2. And a quick 2 outs here for Trevor Martin. We'll leave it for Pete Alonso. Alonso, a hitless night at 0 for 3. Right off the hands, and it's 2-1. That one home run came at Tropicana Field to the opposite field in the game that Boz pitched, but then the Oriole bullpen allowed the Rays to come back and win. Way high, 3-1. Seen plenty of damage from Alonso against the Rays over the years as a Met. Here's the Oriole bullpen. Grant Wolfram looks like he's taken over for Boz. Boz 99 pitches through 7 innings of outstanding baseball. Ball 4 to Alonso. Now Basayo, who took advantage of a couple of Rays errors, or mistakes at least, in the 5th inning and turned it into a 3-run home run. And that took it from 3-1 to 6-1. That's where we've been ever since. Not so comfortable, not so familiar a position for these Rays over the last month. When's the last time the Rays really had one handed to them like this? Might be in that series against Cincinnati. Rarely have the Rays even been giving up 6 runs in a game. They did against the, and there's Kimbrel. So looks like we might see his Rays debut tonight. Looks pretty likely. Jorge Moncada, the Rays bullpen coach, behind him. Everybody getting to know each other. Rollover grounder foul.
And I like the idea. If and when he does get into this ball game, is you kind of let him acclimate himself to the team, get him back out of the mound, keep him sharp. And if you do need him tomorrow night, I mean, listen, he's done it plenty of his career. He's going to be able to pitch back-to-back nights going into the off day. So I love this move.
Wild one. Up to second goes Alonso. Not a whole lot that Fiducia could have done with that.
Nope. That ball just yanked down and in, and really no shot for Fiducia. Trying to be careful with Basayo because he has the big 3-run blast his last time up, so you don't forget those things.
No. Basayo homered against the Rays same inning that Alonso homered last homestand, even though the Rays won. So he's got a pair against the Rays in a week. Does he have another? Nope, not enough. Just shy of the track. Mullins makes the play. 1 walk, 1 left through 7. 6-1 Baltimore.
A road trip with Ryan took me just outside of the ballpark here off Utah Street here at Camden Yards, where Jonathan Aranda didn't just homer, he made a little bit of baseball history. His blast off Zach Eflin was projected by StatCast at 467 feet, although the Orioles here projected it at 442 in terms of where this marked. Now, the home run, the reason why it was projected at that, it actually hit off the Boog's barbecue stand here in the back, and Wayne, who is actually the longtime staffer here for the Orioles that used those estimate markers, he said it projected that it would have gone 442, which is why they put the marker right there. That made Aranda just the 5th Rays player ever to hit a home run that hit off Utah Street, and the 70th road visiting player to ever reach Utah with a home run that had hit that street. So, guys, that plaque is very, very special, especially for Aranda. As he told me, I knew it was going to go off the bat. If you look at it, I kind of stood there to admire it a little bit, but honestly, I didn't realize it was going to go that far. And he said it's such a great feeling seeing that plaque, knowing that it will live there forever. So certainly a special moment there for Jonathan Aranda. 442 is that marker, which makes it the 2nd longest home run, guys, in a game to reach Utah Street. Can you name the player that actually has the longest home run marked by the Orioles, 443 feet in an official game? Remember, Ken Griffey Jr. hit the side of the building here in the warehouse, but it wasn't an official game. That was in the All-Star game. Can you name the player that did it?
How about it? I don't know that answer. That's a great question.
B.A., you want to take a shot?
Well, you know what? I was going to go with Ken Griffey Jr. until you just, off the building.
That was an All-Star game.
Yes.
It wasn't an official game. Henry Rodriguez with the Expos back on June 17th, 1997 is the longest, and that was at 443 feet. So Aranda came 1 foot short of tying the record, guys. How crazy is that?
Well, that's really interesting if that is the case, because Henry Rodriguez was the one who we were talking about getting hit by line drives when Griffin Jacks unfortunately came out of this ball game. Oh, Henry Rodriguez got me with one that
disintegrated your arm.
It just knocked me in about the middle of next week.
Well, I was here for the first one. Mickey Tettleton hit the first one, and he had been an Orioles with the Tigers at the time. I remember a lot of oohs and ahs as he was the first one that hit. What did Ryan say? I think 70 players have done it. And I happened to have been working the day that Griffey hit the one off the warehouse. It was sitting in the first base dugout. It was during Home Run Derby the day before the All-Star game. And I remember the crowd reaction. We've all seen a video. Everybody out there threw their arms in the air. It's the only one that's ever hit it. And I can tell you this, BA, when they built this ballpark, that was the main topic of conversation when they built Camden Yards. Could a hitter hit the warehouse with a home run? And it looked like no chance, and to this day Griffey's the only one ever to do it in Home Run Derby. Ryan Valade, pinch hitting for Palacios, gets a base hit.
That's all Ryan Valade has been doing, is hitting. I saw some notes on him and how well he has been swinging the bat. He's now reached base safely in 11 of his last 17 plate appearances.
That'll work. That'll definitely work. Rays have 2 hits in the inning, but the Yandy Diaz double play nullified the first one. Now Mullins. Just Yanier Cano warming up in the Oriole bullpen. Harmless fly ball to center for Taveras, and the Rays will be down to the last 3 outs. It's deceptive. It looks like you could hit that warehouse, but you got to get it over Utah Street to do it. And only Griffey in Home Run Derby in '93. Rays TV is presented by Union Home Mortgage. Look down Utah Street, and look at that man. Craig Kimbrell is in a Rays uniform. Who would have thought that even a day ago? And there he is wearing a Rays uniform for the first time.
Well, our Liberty Mutual Insurance field coverage, 440 career saves. That's 5th on the all-time list. He was Rookie of the Year in 2011, World Series champion in 2018. How about 13.9 for his career strikeouts per 9? I mean, that is a huge number.
Kevin Cash told me today that they feel like his fastball has been working just fine. In fact, very good for all of their measurements that they take on those sort of things. Question is, does he have the other stuff to go with it? And Kevin Cash has a new toy in the bullpen. The perfect spot to get Kimbrel in. Low leverage for his debut. And there it is. That fastball, he's thrown it a lot.
Well, 2 breaking balls, the sweeper, the knuckle curve. Been doing this for a long time and doing it very well.
He was an Oriole for a time, a brief time. When I think of Kimbrel, the first thing that comes to mind is Atlanta, but his years with Boston just spectacular. And he's bounced around ever since. With the Mets earlier this year, that heater looked good.
Well, he took it up and out of the zone. I mean, this right here is all about commanding that heater. Watch where he puts it. In a possible spot. Too close to take, but far enough away that you're not going to be able to do anything with it. He gets the strikeout, and a nice way to start his little tenure here with the Rays.
17 seasons. He's been with a couple other teams that honestly I forgot that he was with. I mean, he has bounced around since his time with the Red Sox. Phillies in 23, Dodgers in 22, White Sox in 21, Cubs for 3 years, Padres in 2015, Mets this year, Astros and Braves again last year, and Orioles in 24. But a 9-time All-Star, as you mentioned, you can't substitute that experience. A familiar stance, looking in with the elbow pointed up to the sky. There were times when he came with the Red Sox, as we see Andrew Kittredge, former Ray, looking like he's warming up for the 9th. Over about a 3-year span when he was with Boston, going up against the Rays. I mean, I forget what the final numbers were, but they only got, I don't even think they got 4 or 5 hits against him. I mean, he'd come in, it was 1, 2, 3.
Oh, game over. Game over.
Playing an 8-inning game with him in the 9th. And of course, at the time when he was with Atlanta, all those years, that's where it all started. Tell you what, knuckle curve looked like vintage Kimbrel to me.
Yeah, I mean, that had good depth and good sweep to it. He had established the fastball, made Jackson aware of that, and then watch how he's take this down and away. Yeah, just cannot hold up. Our Orlando Health slow-mo replay, and he missed that by plenty.
Something to note too, right-handers this year in the big leagues against Kimbrel, righties are just 2 for 22. So maybe he's still got, you know, he's got a chance here to help the Rays out. Rays have a beat-up bullpen these days.
Absolutely.
And part of it's from so much winning. They've had to use a lot of those guys in such high leverage. Need some help along the way, and Kimbrel going to provide that.
Can never have enough arms.
No.
I don't care if it's in the rotation and you have, you know, 1 or 2 stashed in AAA, or certainly out of the bullpen. I mean, that's what the name of the game is. Pitching, pitching, pitching. 162 games is going to beat up a staff over the long haul. So you are going to need reinforcements, and you're going to need them in spades.
Honestly, nothing will beat up a staff more than a 22-4 stretch like the Rays had. High leverage, finishing off games every day. Meantime, an infield single for Colton Cowser. Funny, this game can turn on you quickly. We're getting so many of those, and now they're getting them against them.
Yeah, I mean, the little, just right off the end of the bat, the swinging bunt. Look at the action on that ball, kind of rotating sideways until it gets into the grass. That's got a cut on it too. You see that?
Yep.
That ball right off the cup end of that bat, and it sliced the leather.
And it continues for Blaze Alexander. This should end the inning. Good job by Junior to set himself and throw to first for the out. Craig Kimbrell in his Rays debut. Looked like vintage Craig Kimbrell. Good to see him in a Rays uniform.
Johns.
Rays TV presented by Union Home Mortgage. And former Ray Andrew Kittredge is coming on to try to finish it out. Could be one of those rare games where the Rays score first but don't win. They're 23-6 when they score first, but they're going to need at least a 5 spot here in the 9th. Lower third of the order for the Rays. Out of play for Mesa. And it's 1-1. Two and one. Little slide piece from Andrew Kittredge, and it's 2-2. Well, the Rays, who had a 5.5 game lead a couple of days ago, it's looking like it'll be down to 2.5 with the Yankees blowing out the Royals. Blue Jays winning big at home against Miami. And there's one out here in the Rays 9th.
On the ebbs and flow of the season, and you know that this team, if they're not able to mount a miraculous comeback, you know, tomorrow is one of those. Okay, enough, guys. Yeah, time to go out and play a clean baseball game.
And look, you want to win, but I think what you said there is even more, I guess, more important. A clean game.
Play a clean, and when they do that, they do win.
That's right. And you pointed out, BA, this team is built to win close games. You're not going to win close games with 4 errors yesterday and the mistakes on Sunday in a tight one and the 3 errors tonight. So you just got to roll with it and move on. But I think the more important story tonight too is making sure Griffin Jax is okay after the line drive hit him in the second. That's a lot of pitching knowledge right there on one screen.
Yeah, for
Kyle
sure.
Snyder, Craig Kimbrell. Pop fly by Fiducia, and the Rays are down to their final out. Have a 3-game losing streak and have lost a series as they allow 6 unearned runs to the Baltimore Orioles tonight and lose by the final score of 6-1. Still a game to go in this series, and like BA was saying just a little while ago, tomorrow enough is enough. Rays want to play a clean game and salvage one here against Baltimore. First things first, though, we've got Rays postgame coming up in a moment from Baltimore.